So I'm looking at the analytics on my Facebook profile, and if the line goes up, that means I'm doing good. And when the line goes down, that means I'm doing bad. Right, Anna? Right? Or maybe wrong? Today, we've got Anna coming back to talk to us about. Where'd she go? Oh, there you are. Oh, I gotta find Francine too.
Hi.
There we all are. Hey guys. Anna is back today to talk to us about the weird analytics pages in our social media so that we actually know what we're looking at and what we actually need to do after we look at it. Welcome back, Anna.
Thank you. I'm so glad I was able to pull this off in a week with a snowstorm, with my kids home, working full time. Um, I'm located outside of Boston. I don't know if people know that, but we got, the first storm 3 weeks ago. We got 24, 25 inches of snow. And then yesterday we got between 18 and 20. So there's nowhere left to put the snow. But I still managed to put this presentation together for you. And I learned some new things as well. So I'm excited to share.
So this just proves to everybody, if Anna could do it, you can too.
100%.
Also, what I heard from that is you're always learning something when
Mm.
it comes to social media. And you know what? That is perfectly okay.
That's
Yeah,
because
well,
just as soon as you learn it, they change it.
I was just
Oh,
going
we
to say
talked
those
about that
same
earlier
words.
too.
Soon as you figure it out, they're like, we're going to switch this up on everybody now.
Right?
So then you have to relearn how to do all the things all over again. They keep adjusting the algorithm or they adjust where things are, like the interface, they change completely. We just had this discussion where I was showing you my Facebook interface, which looks a certain way and I know how to navigate it. And then you were showing yours and they look completely different. So, yay, Meta.
All right. Are we ready to get into this awesome presentation that you put together for us?
Yes, please. Okay, so today's presentation is social media data, how to read and analyze data insights and analytics, because all new technology should come with a young person. I'm
Right.
not I'm not that young, but I'm young enough. So, a quick introduction to myself. My name is Anna McCabe. I'm a two-time self-published author of children's books, a wife, a full-time working mother, and now a creative operations consultant and the owner of The Bookshelf, which is a digital bookstore for indie authors only. Francine's book is on there. A lot of people on our Children's Book Authors Unite page, their books are on there. So if you're looking for a beautifully curated page of self-published indie author books, head over to The Bookshelf. My social media handles, if anyone's interested in following along. I also run the Indie Author Revolution Facebook group, which you can join. You have to answer some questions. I'm very particular about who I let in that group because I'm trying to weed out like the spam. My website, if you're interested, and also my email if you ever want to contact me for services. Okay, moving on. Okay, so everyone, I always put this slide together not to be like, rah, rah, I have figured out the secret sauce, but because why this matters is because when you are doing things on social media, it works. When you are like following the plan and doing things the correct way, it works for you. And as a perfect example, I always put my stats over here. So the last time I showed this slide, which was, God, Francine, when did I do the class? 3 weeks ago? 4 weeks ago?
About 4 weeks ago. Yeah.
Okay. So in 4 weeks, I've gained let's call it 400 followers. I'm now up to 182 posts. I have not had another video go viral since then. But my reach has increased almost 1 million views in 30 days. So we're at 3.8 million views now, consistent. It was at 5.3 and it came down to 3.8. That's okay. That's what happens with social media. All right. So today I want to start by, I always do like this Instagram versus Facebook um, slide because so many people have like their comfort zone. They're either really comfortable on Instagram or they're really comfortable on Facebook. Typically, they're not comfortable on both. Um, Personally, I am more comfortable on Instagram, but I am getting used to Facebook and using it more and more because I'm starting to see its value now, whereas before I didn't really see the value with Facebook. Okay, so I love to do like a compare side by side. So, Instagram Insights, I'm dubbing the aesthetic and discovery engine. So, basically, that means the key metrics are designated as reach, engagement rate, which is likes, comments, crucial saves, and shares, right? We've talked all about this in the past. Why saves, shares, and reposts are like, that's where you want to be. You want people sharing out your posts, your reels. You want them saving them for a later date so they can go back and refer to them. Or you want them reposting directly to their pages and profiles so that it reaches their entire web too. Also profile visits, which is a really cool key insight to Instagram. Facebook Insights, I'm dubbing the community and conversion engine. And I'm actually finding this more and more as I use Facebook, especially within my indie author group. I'm finding that the more information I am putting out, the more people are coming to me and being like, "Do you know anything about this? Can you tell me about that? Like, how can I have a call with you? How do I get on your bookshelf?" Right? So like the more free information I'm dumping on my Facebook group page, like the more it's coming back to me. Um, so key metrics here on Facebook is link clicks, which is really crucial, especially if you're trying to push people somewhere to a product or a sign up or a fundraiser. Page follows and also top fan engagement. That's something new I've noticed about Facebook. Like every now and then I'm like, you've earned a badge for being like top contributor. So that's like a really cool, fun uh, metric on Facebook now that I think people really enjoy and they want to share that information. So I also put on this slide where the 2026 focus is, or headed, I should say, for both Instagram and Facebook. So Reels watch time is one of the metrics we want to look out for, and skip rate. Those are the two. I'm sorry, I'm starting a cold, so I'm a little boogery. So if I need to take a minute to clear my throat, that's why.
That's a mom
Um,
talking right there.
I know. Okay, so Reels watch time is a metric and a data analytic that you want to pay attention to in 2026, and also skip rate. And we're going to get to why those are important as we move on in this presentation. So Meta, which is the owner of Facebook and Instagram, if you didn't know, now provides data on when people stop watching your videos, which is crucial to figure out where you're losing your audience, right? So where are they sort of going, oh, okay, this is boring, swipe, swipe, swipe. Facebook is the metric is conversion. So with improved like cross device tracking, Facebook can show you how to show you how a post viewed on a phone. Oh, I see. I'm sorry. I'm literally blind these days. Facebook can now show you exactly how someone on their phone who's like scrolling and looking and just exploring, it can show you how it's leading to a purchase. So those are the data analytics that Facebook can provide. Like if they clicked, did they purchase or did they just click? Which that's really great for people who have like products that they're selling, like children's books. Okay, so let's talk about the advantage. So Instagram is like a high save, high share count, signals the algorithm that your content is super valuable. And it will trigger more organic distribution to non-followers. So the more saves and shares and reposts, Instagram is like, ooh, we like you. And then they blast you out to even more people who don't already follow you. Um, Facebook is still the leader for like long form information. We talked about this, I think, either in my first or second call about how Facebook is like the less shallow of the two. I don't know if you ladies remember that. We talked about like Instagram being kind of shallow, and people like to have like deeper conversations and groups, and they go back and they refer to things, and like you can drive traffic easier with website links, whereas with Instagram that is a little stalled. Um, so that's the advantage of the differences between Instagram and Facebook. Francine, do we have any questions yet about anything?
No, we just have one, not a question, but Sue just wants to be like you when she grows up.
I
Thanks,
said that we do
Sue.
too.
Oh, you guys are so sweet. You guys are so funny. Okay. Moving on. Let's see. Okay, so I wanted to touch on the features of the data analytics and insights that we're going to talk about today. These three features basically cover all of the insights. I'm sure there are some other outliers, but these I think are the like three biggest telltale signs and data that you actually want to be looking at. So I just want to point out too that like the data analytics landscape for Instagram and Facebook has evolved from like vanity metrics, so just likes and comments and shares and things, to more AI driven insights. So you can manage the data and treat social media as like a growth engine instead of just like throwing spaghetti at the wall trying to figure out what's sticking, if that makes sense. So if you ever feel like you're just punching reels out and punching posts out and you're like, I don't understand why one thing is getting 5,000 views and something else is only getting 150, now you have the data to tell you like why that's happening. Okay, so we're going to start with active followers. So one of the questions I get all the time is, when should I be posting? I mean, everyone I meet with, every client I have says, I don't understand when I should be posting. And the other thing they ask me is about how often they should be posting. And I spoke about this, I think, last week. Last week, about how it's not about how often, it's about how consistently. So if you post 4 times a week on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and that's sort of like your jam, you want to continue being consistent on those posting days. But that doesn't really get down to like the nitty gritty of when you should be posting. There's a lot of like theory out there that like, oh, if you post at 9, noon, and 6, you get the most amount of views. But that's actually not the case. And there's data in Instagram that actually shows you exactly when you should be posting. So I'm going to basically fly through my slides, and then we're going to get to a video at the end that shows you exactly how to get to all these data analytics from your phone, like from Instagram. I did not do this for Facebook. I only did it for Instagram. And then what I will do is I will pause the video and talk about, like, refer back to the slides basically. So when should we be posting? So your data actually provides an exact map of when your specific audience is active on Instagram. And you can find that in the data analytics. And you want to be posting between 15 and 30 minutes before that peak activity window. This ensures that when your followers come on, your information is at the very top of their feed. They're seeing your information first. And then let's talk about the question, for whom should I be posting and why? So Instagram also gives you these really cool analytics, which I will show you in the video, where you can find out how old your followers are, what gender they are, and like basically where in the world they're located. So you can tailor your content directly towards like your highest grossing, we'll call it highest grossing follower. So, for example, if 60% of your Instagram followers are Gen Z in urban areas, the cozy or chaotic aesthetic type content is going to perform really well as opposed to like something really corporatey or maybe like something super polished. Does that make sense? I hope that all
Yeah.
makes sense. Okay, great. Sue, 2 questions. We're waiting, Sue.
She's typing. I'm sure
She's
she's
typing.
typing.
She's typing them. Okay. Should I move on or should I wait?
Go ahead. There we go. Well, there we
Oh,
There
go.
it
here we
is.
go.
Can you pay somebody to do your post for you? And if you do, is that effective?
Sue, you can always pay someone to do something, some kind of service. No one's really going to turn you down. I actually started doing this. Francine, I don't know if you remember when we first started the bookshelf. I don't even know who that is, but when we first started the bookshelf, there was a point in time where I was creating content for you on my Instagram feed and sharing it as collaboration and mentions and in stories and all this, that, and the
Yeah.
other thing. But
Yes,
it's
yes, yes.
yeah, but it's really, really hard to make content for somebody else because you don't have access to their life. Like you don't, unless someone is following you around with a camera or a video recorder, like how are you gonna get content for like Instagram or Facebook feed? So yeah, you can pay anyone to do anything, but I feel like maybe you have to have a lot of money. Really high-end Instagram, like people with like millions of followers, they do this. They have videographers that uh, excuse me, they have videographers that basically follow them around and then they just cut content from all of that. Um, it's really fascinating. That's a really fascinating life. I don't know that I would want that.
And I
um,
do know people who pay, but to me, a lot of the people who pay don't have that personal feeling. You can almost tell somebody else is doing it for
yeah,
them.
the authenticity is missing.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, I will
Um,
say this though, sometimes, and what I'm doing is I've got somebody else that I can bounce my content off of. So before it posts, I have somebody else that I can talk to and say, "Hey, how's this feel for you? Does this seem like it makes sense for this particular audience I'm talking to, or whatever?" And I'll do that a lot for my video shorts. And so the person I'm working with sometimes will even just come up with them and be like, pick out which ones resonate the most for you. And then I'm like, okay, great. I didn't have to think about that. I'm just going to go record them.
You
And
know
so
what?
that's been really helpful too.
This is a perfect time to talk about portal potty port.
Francine, is you're writing in the porta potty right now.
Yes, portal pot.
is it Portal Party?
Thank you. Yes,
Hey, I'm like, what
portal
here?
parties. Now, what is that, everybody? Those are brainstorming sessions that we do on Zoom where you could bring your content ideas to a crowd and we brainstorm on how to make them better. We do that.
Oh,
We do that if you're writing a book. Sue, one of the people we've been chatting with today, came to a portal party when she had writer's block and she was ready to quit. And guess what? Her book was finished right after the party. So if you are having questions about what to post or how to say it, schedule your portal party. Woohoo, I said it. Your portal party. We will schedule a session to match your schedule. So just drop a party in the chat if you want to schedule a brainstorming session and we could talk about your content and how we could get more people to vibe with it.
that's
Back to you.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
All right.
Okay. So I'm going to move on now to content analysis. So this hopefully answers the questions, what format of content should I be posting? So we've talked in the past the difference between all the formats: post, carousel, story, reel, live. What am I missing? Real, live, story, post, carousel. Nah, I think that's basically it. So what format of content should I be posting? Where are they seeing my content? So where on Instagram are they seeing it? Are they seeing it on the explore page? Are they seeing it on like their feed, right? So it will tell you, it will differentiate that. Who is seeing your content, and are people following me from my content? Um, there used to be this trick that Instagram influencers, like anyone who was like a social media guru, used to put up, and they would say things like, go back and find your best performing, like in the last 90 days, go back and find your best performing reel and just duplicate it and repost it to trial reels. Well, Instagram has kind of caught on to that now, and they actually will send you a message. I'm going to show you exactly what it says because this actually happened to a friend of mine recently. Um, it basically spits out your content and tells you, like, we're not going to post this because, oh God, what have I done? We're not going to post this because it's too similar to things that you've posted in the past, is basically what it says. No, that's the restriction. Let me see if I can find it. Oh gosh darn it. I had the verbiage here, but now I don't have it. Oh, here it is. This trial reel won't get much reach. It's not being shown to many people because it looks like something you've shared before. So Instagram recognizes when you are duplicating your drafts as opposed to recreating the video, if that makes sense. So in drafts, you could actually just duplicate it like over and over and over again and then change the hook or change the content and see how each thing plays. They don't let you do that anymore. It's kind of like a blocker now. Um, Okay, sorry, moving on. I got sidetracked. Okay, so checking your reach metrics to see which format the algorithm is favoring for your account. So it will actually tell you in your analytics if it's reels, carousels, or single posts that people are seeing from your profile. So which of those things are they seeing the most of? If your reels are getting, just for example, this is how you can read the data. If your reels are getting 10 times the reach of your images, then maybe you want to start posting more reels and less posts and images. Or if it's the other way around, maybe you continue on the path that you're on because it's reaching an audience. Um, the top sources of views, which I'm going to show you in our video, it actually is called top sources of views, can tell you where people are finding your content. So whether they're finding it on the Reels tab, um, or if they're in Explore or searching, or your profile, if they've gone to your profile to find whatever it is that they're looking at. It can also, other content you analysis you can look at is like, shares, reposts, saves, and interactions. Likes and shares are like, right, they're vanity metrics. Like, who cares? Who cares how many likes you have? Who cares how many shares you have? But if you have a post, no matter what it is, content, I'll just say content, that is getting a lot of reposts, a lot of shares, or a lot of saves, um, that's where you know your like bread and butter is. Like, this is the content people want from you, basically, is how to read that. Um, this data can also show you who is following you from a particular piece of content. So, for instance, I was looking back at a trial reel and like 684 people followed me from that one trial reel. And I was like, wow, I either really pissed some people off or really spoke to some people. It's usually one or the other. Um, So that's really interesting data too. And then you can see who is seeing your content. Are they followers versus non-followers? So we've talked about this in the past, the difference between like regular content and trial reels. Trial reels goes to non-followers only. Unless you share it, you go in and hit share to everyone, your trial reels are not going to show to your profile or to anybody else. And then it also shows you profile visits. So who from that content actually went to your profile and scrolled to profile, which is really cool. And then super exciting, it shows you external link taps. So if you shared a link in a story, you can gather data on how many people click that link, which that's one of the things I just learned because it's like all the way at the bottom of the analytics. I was like, "Ooh, what's this?" So I don't know if that's new or if I just have never paid attention to it before. But that's a really cool analytic. All right, let's get into retention. So this data will answer the following questions. How long is my content being watched? We all know people have no attention span anymore. When are they losing interest? That's huge to know for your content. Like if they're listening to the first second of you talk and they're like, "Oh, I don't want to hear this," they swipe immediately, you know that that's not sticking with people. So when are they losing interest? Are they watching more than once? Are they going back and watching again because either they missed something or they wanted to really read it and dig into it and think about it, see if it touched them, whatever. And are they swiping and when are they swiping? And that's really important because if you're trying to put a call to action in your content. So things like follow me or press the link for more or, any kind of call to action, you need to know if you're losing your viewers before that call to action, right? Because then they're not following up. Important stuff. Okay. So I think these charts are really cool. I found these actually I basically asked Gemini, which is Google's AI functionality, to take the words and put them in a visual for me because this is actually what you see when you go to your content. It's going to show you these charts and they do like weird things and nobody knows how to interpret that. It's just like a weird looking chart. So I decided to slap these on here and talk a little bit about them. So a steady diagonal line downward, so from 100% downward, means that people are dropping off your content at a consistent, constant rate. So that's like the average performance of a piece of content. If you are looking for great performers, great performing content, you usually see a sharp drop in the first 3 seconds, followed by a horizontal line for the rest of the duration. And that means you've caught their attention. They're watching it, they're probably watching it more than once, and they're staying until the end, which is really important. If your average watch time, I don't know, can you see this? It's actually really small. The average watch time is at the bottom. I think you can see it there. Average watch time, peak current viewers, etc. If your average watch time is either equal or greater than the total length of the video, it means people are re-watching, and that is huge for the algorithm. They love, love, love when people re-watch your content. They're like, ooh, people must really find this interesting if they're watching it over and over and over again, or they really love it. And so they boot it out to like even more of the non-followers. Okay, the spike effect, which is this one right here. So they claim that this is like the viral indicator. This is also a viral indicator, but basically it's that long line. So if you see like a sudden bump upward in the middle of your chart, that usually happens when users are rewinding to see something they missed, or they're fast forwarding. I'm sorry, or the text is moving too quickly and they need to go back and rewatch it. Also, I had somebody um comment on a viral reel I had a while back, and all he said in all caps was too fast, can't read. And he was all pissed off that like the words were moving too quickly. So I just wrote back in all caps, hold finger down on screen. So many people don't know that you can pause a reel by just putting your fucking finger. Oh, I'm so sorry, I swore. By just putting your finger
She's
on the
very
reel.
passionate about this, ladies and gentlemen.
Like, why? First of all, why are you screaming at me in my content? And like, why don't you know this? So just put your finger down, and the reel will pause so you can read the content. Anyway, I thought that was like a funny little story. Another like viral indicator is that it's like that blink and you'll miss it. So usually it's like a visual hook or like a hidden detail somewhere. That people
That's what Sue's talking about. Is that why on some reels the words come across saying, watch till the end? And we're all expecting something huge at the last scene, and there usually isn't.
yeah, that's like that would be like a Ben, hi
Hi,
Ben.
Ben.
Yeah, usually when they say like watch to the end, it's because they have a point that they're trying to touch on or trying to make, but it's usually I don't know. I have find I'm like, okay, you could have said that in the first 5 seconds. They're basically just trying to drag out their watch time
Right.
because the longer people watch, the more the algorithm pushes out. So it's actually really smart of them to be like, watch till the end and then just bupkis. Um, so that's basically why they do that.
I've seen
And
one.
then
It
I'm
was a
surprised.
dog sleeping, and it said, watch the end. And that dog literally does nothing but lay there.
Yeah, they're just trying to train their algorithm to like push
Mhm.
their content out, basically. Okay, so where was I? Spikes trigger. Oh yeah, so anytime you see like a spike, it means it's triggering the algorithm, because it's signaling high engagement and people are watching like over and over again. So I actually think this is the most important section of what we're going to talk about today, and it's about how to understand the quote drops in these charts. So if you are seeing a drop within 0 to 2 seconds, it means the hook that you used, nobody cared about. They just went struck right on. It didn't touch them, it didn't capture them, it didn't speak to anybody. If you get the drop with the V, it usually happens right before a transition or a call to action, and it means the viewer sort of felt the authenticity, felt the value of your content. But it also means value was over. Oh, it felt it, right. So they're watching and they feel the value, but they bail before the call to action. And then the steep cliff at the end basically means your outro. They call it an outro, which I think is kind of weird. So not intro, but outro. Your outro is too long. So they watched, and by the time you were like, hey, like and follow and share this reel, they were already gone. So that's sort of like how to read these charts, which I think is fascinating. Okay,
And
now we're going to move on. Oh,
okay,
sorry, go
do
ahead.
you have a tip on how to find a good hook?
Yes, I do, Sue. But I'm not gonna tell you here. I'm keeping that one close to me. If you want to work with me, Sue, you call me.
I love the way you just did that.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I mean, I love the way I find hooks. There's a couple different ways I found hooks. I'll give you this piece of advice. I'm not going to tell you how I create a lot of my hooks that get a lot of people's interest, but if you have Instagram or Facebook, scroll, we call it doom scrolling, but when you are scrolling, scroll with a purpose. Like scroll to find audio that you like that's really popular. And remember we talked about like how to use trending audio. That reels number has to be under 5,000, and then the first reel that used it has to be over a million views. Um when you are scrolling, scroll with a purpose. So look for hooks that you think you could repurpose and use for you, like in your super hyper focused niche. So when you're scrolling and you like something or something really captures your attention or touches you in some way, take a screenshot of it and store it away for later. Um, so I will give you that piece of advice, Sue. But also, you need to get an Instagram account, Sue, before you even start scrolling. She doesn't even have an Instagram account.
She's just
Okay.
getting started. You can't do everything all at
Yeah,
the same
she's
time.
just getting started. We worked on this together. We put a profile together for her. We put a gorgeous name together. I'm like super excited for her to open this up.
Yes.
Okay, so here's the video I've been touting this entire time. So I'm gonna play it for you, but I'm also gonna walk through like what we talked about. So this is how, you know what? I didn't like how that started. So let me go back. Okay, here's where you can find, right? So that's where you're finding, what the hell? Sometimes this is Canva. I'm not used to Canva. I'm sorry. So this professional dashboard, this is you open your profile, and this is the professional dashboard where you're going to start to find all of these analytics. So you click that button. Hi. I know you were star of the day. My daughter's here. She wants to show you all she was the star of the day today at
Yay,
school.
good
Yeah.
job.
I'm so proud of you. Can you go downstairs, please? And I'll be right down. Okay. Okay, so when you open up your professional dashboard, um, this is what you're going to see. And then the first place I'm going to take you is into your views. This is where you're going to find in the last 30 days how many people between followers and non-followers have seen your data and how many accounts you've reached. It's also going to tell you by content type. So what's most popular? So for me, it's reels. Most people are seeing my reels, and very few people are seeing my stories, which is fine. The top content here is showing you like your best, sort of the best content that's happened in the last 30 days. And then this is where you're going to find your audience information. So top countries, top ages, their genders. And then here at the bottom, remember I was telling you I just found that external link? This is where you will find that external link. So it looks like 105 people tapped my external links in the last 30 days, which is pretty good. I think that's pretty good. Okay, so we're scrolling back by top content. This is so I'm going to show you what it looks like when you actually open one of your high performing pieces of content. This is what it looks like. It's going to give you the sort of metrics up here. So this, wow, this post really pissed some people off. Um, so it looks like it got,
Okay, I want to know what you said because none of your content I see as something that could piss somebody off.
yeah. So these are trial reels, and there's a reason why they live in trial land.
Mhm.
When I have stuff like this that's like really like controversial, I leave it in trial reels because it just boosts all my other content, and then I never really share it with my followers. But this one basically said, this was about the Super Bowl the Super Bowl, and how it was only done in Spanish, and how it is a uniquely American hangup when people don't speak English. Oh, there's my other daughter.
Hello.
Okay, Daddy's gonna have to handle that. I hope you did not hear that. Um, anyway, so that really triggered some people, because I think a lot of people have very different views on all of that. So it was reposted 1.3, I mean, 1,300 times it was reposted. It was saved 712 times. There were almost 3,000 comments and 37,000 likes. So let's see the rest of the way this went. So here's my overview. Here was my watch time, my views. So profile activity, that's how you know someone went to your profile. Views again, blah, blah, blah. But it also shows you, see how almost none of my followers saw that content? That's because it's trial reel. So then it's showing you the top sources where people saw this. So most people saw this content in the Reels tab. Some people saw it in their feed. It popped up in their feed, or they found it while they were exploring some other subject, or they saw it in my story. Oh, there's our retention. So a good performer. Sorry, good performer. And there's our average watch time. Oh, what happened? Go back. There it is. So average watch time is super important because if your watch time, like we talked about, is the same amount of time or longer than the actual content. So this reel was only 7 seconds long, but people watched it for 9 seconds, sorry, my kids, I can't do anything about it.
That's okay.
Which basically means they went back more than once to watch that reel for whatever reason. And then it also looks like I got 146 follows from that particular reel. All right, so now we're going to talk about, so that was in that views tab. That's where I got that information for that views tab. So now we're going to go into looking at the followers tab. This is where you can get some different data. So we're popping into the followers tab. Here's the followers. So here's my overall growth in the last 30 days. Here's my follows. Here's my unfollows. Not pretty common to lose as many people as you gain. This is just a chart about the followers. There's my top content. Sorry, I'm scrolling quickly. Okay, this is the part I really wanted to show you. So we talked about when to post. Everyone's like, when do I post? This is where you're going to find this information. So you go into the dashboard, you go to the followers line, and you scroll all the way to the bottom. And then you can actually scroll from day to day to day. I think you can see it's like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday there, and see the peak times in which people are watching your content. And you want to be posting 15 to 30 minutes before those peak times on those particular days. Okay, so where are we going now? Oh, I went into trial reels. I wanted to show you the difference between that and trial reels. Okay, so this is a reel I posted, I think maybe, I don't know, a week ago. But I wanted to show you where to find the insights for a trial reel. So you go into your trial reels tab it's drafts and trial reels. And this button here where it says view insights, that's where you're going to get that data on that particular trial reel. And then we're going into, makes you click it twice, which is really annoying. And then I'm going to scroll through. So this is all the data on just this one particular trial reel. Because when you go in your professional dashboard, it's not going to show you the data from your trial reels because they're trial reels. So that data in your professional dashboard is all based on stuff you've actually shared out to your followers. Scrolling down, that's how many views this one got. It was 100% non-followers, makes perfect sense. This is a trial reel. Most people found it in their reels tab. There's my retention performance. Here's my skip rate. Oh, I forgot to talk about skip rate. We're over. Does it matter?
Go for it.
Okay, so skip rate is basically like how many people didn't even bother to watch your content. They just skipped right past you. That's like the swipe feature. It tells you what percentage of people did that. Here's my average watch time. So I made it a pretty decent amount of time because I think this reel was about 6 or 7 seconds. So people almost made it to the end. People who interacted were all non-followers. Mostly women, doesn't surprise me. There we go. And that is data analytics.
And I just looked at some of mine while you were going through that, and it really burst my bubble to see that my average watch time is 1 to 2 seconds.
Oh, I'm sorry, Francine. We can work on that. At least you know now how long people are watching and when you're losing them. So you have to change up your content. Like what you're doing is not working. That's very clear.
Yes.
So someone has a question here. So wait, your trial reels can help your data even if it's not a popular subject. Yeah, so there's this thing called rage bait, and people do it people put trial reels out that are rage bait just to boost their algorithm, even if their followers are not seeing that content. I'm sure you guys have all come across rage bait. Oh, yeah. So like the Super Bowl. Yes, like the Super Bowl. Like, did I miss any questions?
Yeah, there's a I don't know what you'd call a influencer on Facebook, or she's all over the place now. But
Yeah.
anyway, she'll post pictures of her messy house so people will tell her what a bad mother she is.
Oh, yeah.
And she makes $10,000 off that post.
Yeah, it's silly. And then people do things like this. I'm going to show you. So this is they will do a post and they'll do this, right? They'll do this, right? And then they'll do their post and it will annoy people so badly that like this is almost falling out and like that the cabinet doors are open, that they will just comment like, don't you know how to close your cabinet doors? It's like, it's so silly, some of the stuff that like boosts your algorithm.
Well, I
I
noticed
also
doing
noticed
my
that with
clone.
Oh,
No, go ahead, Heidi.
I noticed that with mispronouncing words too. Like
Uh-huh.
somebody in
Yes.
a video will mispronounce a word where it's like, how could you possibly mispronounce that word? And then that's all the comments are.
Or
Yeah.
typo. Oh my God,
Or a
typo.
typo. Yes.
I do them on
Guys,
purpose
that's
sometimes.
like get like boost your algorithm. Be like, I'm a self-published author of children books. And they'll be like, she missed the apostrophe S. Oh my God. You know what I mean? And she's supposed to be an author. She calls herself an author. You know what I mean? It's great. It's great. It's okay to piss people off. It's okay.
Yeah, because not everybody has to like you. But you know what I found? Especially like when I've been posting my clone and my mouth doesn't match and it's obviously a clone.
Yeah.
And people are commenting on it. And I'm thinking in the back of my mind, hey, you're watching my videos. Woohoo.
Yeah. Exactly. Like, hey, I don't even care what comments you're leaving. You're boosting the algorithm.
Right,
It doesn't matter what you're
exactly.
saying. And I don't reply to any of them. The only time I reply to comments is when they're like good comments, where they're like, "Oh my God, where'd you get your headphones?" Or "I love your dress. Where'd you get it?" Like that's the only time I respond to comments. Or if they're like love comments, like "I love your content. I just followed you," and then I'm like, "Oh, thanks, girl," and then I follow her back. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But I don't respond to any of the hate because it just drives more of that. And I just ignore it. But there are some people who respond to it. I'm like, you don't need to defend yourself ever, ever, ever.
I never defend myself, but I will say, hey, I'm learning something new. What have you done today? You know,
Yeah, but
little
you're starting a
snarky comments.
conversation. That's
Yeah,
different. You're trying to start a conversation on purpose. I'm
right.
talking about like people just ripping each other to shreds in the comments.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, if we don't have any more questions, we apparently had a poop accident that I
Oh
get to go deal with.
no. I think you better go take care of your daughter.
All right, well,
I'm sure Daddy was very happy when you said
Yeah,
that's a
you saw
daddy
him in the
problem.
background, like,
eh. All
Well,
right, well
thank you
then,
so much,
let's
Anna.
close and wrap up this episode. If you can conceive it, you can believe it, and you can achieve it.
From the head to the heart to the
To the
hands.
hands.
I love that.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
you
can.
can. And that applies to you, Sue.
Yeah,
Yes.
Sue.
Sue's having
All
trouble.
right.
Sue's having trouble just with getting a picture on Instagram. I'm like, we got work to do, girl.
Well, I'm looking forward to the next portal party with Sue.
Yes. If anybody wants to come in the Zoom room with Sue and start brainstorming, drop a party in the comments and we'll let you know when the party's going to be.
All right, y'all. We'll
Thanks,
see you next
lady.